Ms. Sima Bahous, Executive Director, UN Women.
South Sudan's path to peace and development is beset by political instability, humanitarian crises, and socio-economic fragility. The country contends with weakened institutions and struggles with social cohesion, all as the ongoing war in neighboring Sudan further destabilizes its fragile transition. Since April 2023, over 1.2 million people have crossed into South Sudan, straining South Sudan's systems and capacities, complicating humanitarian delivery, and making mediation and cooperation more difficult. As always in crises and conflict, women and girls are hit hardest. Every day, they face relentless climate challenges, food insecurity, sexual violence, abductions, and more. South Sudan has one of the highest rates of gender-based violence in the region, with an estimated 2.7 million people at risk. 2024 saw UNMISS document 260 cases of conflict-related sexual violence, including rape, gang rape, sexual slavery, forced abortion, and forced marriage, with the highest number recorded in Western Equatoria State. Thank you. In this fragile environment, withdrawal of resources and capacity is imprudent at best, catastrophic at worst. And we know who will shoulder the inevitable burdens that come with this investment. It will be women, women who are first responders on the front line, caregivers for their families, sustainers of their communities, all while facing a perfect storm of economic, climate, and conflict-related threats. They deserve better. We owe them better. There is simply no more proven pathway to sustainable peace than women's leadership and meaningful inclusion in conflict resolution. Brief you today.
Over the past 3 months, the developments in South Sudan continued to move in a negative and possibly dangerous direction. Ceasefire violations are on the increase, including widespread aerial bombardments and clashes between the signatories of the peace agreement.
Mr. President, excellent.
Despite these challenges and a breaking point becoming visible, the revitalized peace agreement remains the only viable framework for long-term peace and stability in South Sudan.
Presidency for inviting me to.
As credible and peaceful elections within the timelines of the peace agreement in December 2026 appear increasingly improbable, fresh political commitment and dialogue between the leaders of South Sudan are therefore essential.
I thank the Sierra Leone.
The humanitarian situation remains catastrophic. More than 7.5 million people face acute food insecurity. 28,000 are at risk of famine. Flooding has displaced over 1 million. Over 1.2 million returnees and refugees from Sudan have crossed into a country already struggling to feed its own. Human suffering during this volatile situation continues to mount. Conflict-related sexual violence, arbitrary detentions, and extrajudicial killings persist with limited accountability. I urge all parties to immediately cease hostilities and recommit to the cessation of hostilities agreement. Despite insecurity and rising bureaucratic impediments, humanitarian partners bravely continue to deliver assistance, often at great personal risk. I call on the government to lift access restrictions, guarantee the safety of aid workers, and hold to account all those involved in attacks on humanitarian workers.
Distinguished members of the Security Council, good morning to you all. The recent administrative changes within the government structure has been carried out in accordance with South Sudan's sovereign, prerogative, and national laws. These adjustments are intended to enhance efficiency, promote accountability, and ensure stability during the transition. We categorically reject any criticization of these measures as undermining the peace process. Rather, they are part of the ongoing efforts to strengthen governance and promote inclusivity at all levels. The government of South Sudan remains committed to maintaining the permanent ceasefire and reiterate that the government does not condone attacks against humanitarian workers or UN personnel. we call upon the signatories to the peace process and the peace agreement to exercise restraint and refrain from inflammatory actions and re-engage constructively through the mechanism established under the RXS that we see as the only way out of this transitional period and into a stable nation.
South Sudan for the statement.